Y'all how to get a backspin on your ball in a golf swing. The three different things are going to be the lie, the club, and what kind of ball you use, and then of course your stance. I don't know if you were able to see that. I just came back a little bit, but that's what you want. The first thing is the lie. It's always better to have it in the fairway with the ball up, and 9 times out of 10 you want kind of a drier surface. It's hard to hit a good backspin shot on a wet surface. First things first, you got to make good. You have to hit the ball before the club hits the ground. If you hit the club off the ground first, you're actually going to bounce the ball up. I know it doesn't seem like the ball will come off the ground, but if the club hits before the ground, then you're going to raise the ball up enough to where it won't make good contacts in the grooves or the lines in the club, and it won't generate spin that way. Things that hinder spin off the grooves: tall grass, wet grass, anything that kind of blocks the contact between the grooves and the ball. It says here to practice from a bunker. It's always good to practice from a bunker because it's soft, it's sandy. You can stay in the same spot the entire time, re-rake the sand, and your lie never changes. If you hit in the fairway, you're going to leave divots in the fairway, and people don't really like you messing up their fairway. But like I said earlier, you got to hit the ball before you hit the ground. You'll see here, if you watch closely on his ball, you see where he left a mark with his club here, and as he comes through, he's actually leaves a mark after the ball. So that's how you know if you make good contact with the ball or not. Also, the ball is very important. It's better to play a soft compound ball. If you have a harder compound ball, it's not going to dig into the grooves. A softer compound actually compresses into the grooves and it grabs better, which generates more spin. And it's also good to have a newer ball. If you have an older ball, it's not gonna grab because it's just round. These golf balls actually have little divots on them, and that's what grabs the surface of the club and spins it. Other factors, definitely wind, slope of the green. Is the green dry or wet? If the green, normally, if the green is wet, you're going to stick the ball. It's not going to spin, because if you drop a golf ball if you're hitting a sand wedge and say it's 20 or 30 feet in the air and it falls straight on the ground, then you're going to leave a divot. It's not going to have any spin. If it's a real dry green, it's not going to have a lot of spin either, because it's actually going to do like a little burnout on the green. It's nice to have a good medium in between. That's going to cause the ball to land hard, and it's not going to bounce, so you're not going to lose your spin. And when you land it hard on a kind of medium, a well manicured green, you're going to get the most spin out of that, definitely. Other factors are club choice. As you see here, he's got a very open, probably 60-degree wedge. This is probably a 52-degree wedge, and he had a 7-iron. The more laid back your club is, the more spin you're going to get, obviously. The setup, this is talking about your stance. You want to put more weight on your front foot. With having more weight on your front foot, you come more down on the ball, and it'll show it in the video. You want to have an open stance because you're going to open up the club a little bit. What he means by open stance is instead of aiming your feet right where you want it to go. You're going to open your stance a little bit, and you're going to aim to the left if you're right-handed, and you're going to aim more to the right if you're left-handed. Because when you have a open club face, when you come through, the club is still going to be going straight at your target. That's why you change your body. You don't change your swing. It's a lot of people try to have a very consistent swing, and if you change your swing on every shot, you're not normally going to hit the same shot every time. So this here, you're going to put the ball in the middle of your stance. If you put it in the back of your stance, it's going to do like you said. You're just going to dig the ball into the ground. When you open the club face, wedges have a little, I would say kind of a little bump on the back of them. That is made for going across the ground instead of digging in like your normal irons will. And then a very slight wrist action, just to, when you come through, just kind of whip your wrist, and it generates even, if you want, even more spin. And follow through. That's your biggest thing. A lot of people try and hit a short shot, and they make this great big backswing, and then they come through and they stop. And they come through and they just stop, and that stops all your momentum. It stops your whole swing. You only get half the power like that. So like you showed here, if you use all of those steps that I just told you, you'll see you get a pretty fair amount of backspin. See how it just kind of bounced, and then as soon as it settled down, it just took off. That's on a well manicured green and all those factors. So today I told you how to hit a backspin with your golf shot.
Feel like you're using T. What is the green? Just saying.
A green?
That's cash money?